Captain America Jr. himself, Bo Nickal, has come out and said, not for the first time, that he believes he would beat Khamzat Chimaev because he has a good style, and over time, Khamzat Chimaev would slow down, whereas Bo would only pick up steam as the fight goes on. I am going to come to you guys with a distant future prediction because this will not happen in 2025, but this will happen in 2026. Khamzat Chimaev will run through Bo Nickal. Before we get into this video, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for me so I can keep pushing out content. Let's see what the fuck Bo Nickal has to say. Courtesy of the Bo Nickal YouTube channel, post by MMA Fighting, Bo Nickal says, I think that he's good, he's got skills, but his biggest thing that's going to crush him, especially in the fight against me, is, dude, you're going to get tired. You're going to fall down energy-wise, and I'm going to go up as the fight goes on. What do the people think? Khamzat by murder. Your last fight, you did nothing, no takedowns, no nothing. Bo needs to be fed to someone high-ranked now. Delusional, Cody Brundage took Bo down and threw him against the cage. Bo isn't very good or strong. Even DDP would fold Bo easily. Robert easily stuffed most of Yoel's takedowns. Khamzat, Ooh, Bo versus Vettori. I like that fight. That's if you make it there. You barely got through Paul Craig. Okay. So, if that fight was booked today, Khamzat would run through Bo, in my opinion. I think a lot of these guys, they fail to realize, yes, you may be as skilled as Khamzat or even better than him skill-wise on paper, but it's kind of like the same thing with Khabib. On paper, you might be more skilled than him all around, but when it comes to the ferocity and ferociousness that he approaches a fight, so far no one has been able to handle that. We saw him absolutely run through Robert Whittaker. Who has done that to Whittaker before? Nobody. I mean, people have knocked him out, but to just run through him like forcefully, grappling wise, in like 2-3 minutes, we've never seen that before. So if Bo Nickal and Khamzat fought today, Khamzat, I think, would probably finish him in the first round as well. And that's not me saying that Bo is not as skilled as him or as technical as him. It's just a different level of ferociousness that these guys can't deal with out the gate. The only guy that we saw be able to deal with that, well, two, was Usman and Gilbert Burns. Usman is an amazing grappler with amazing wrestling and a super high-level, experienced world champion, second greatest welterweight of all time. And he was able to manage the storm that Khamzat brought him and survive. And even looked like if that was a 5-round fight, he would have won. So you had that. But then you had Gilbert Burns, who, in my opinion, the only way that you're going to beat Khamzat Chimaev, and I know it's so much easier said than done, you have to meet him head on. It has to become a car crash. You cannot sit there and wait for him to come to you and counter what he's doing. If you try to counter what he's doing, he's going to run over you. You have to meet him head on and try to stop some of that momentum that he's going to bring towards you. That is the guy that we saw do best against him, Gilbert Burns. Obviously, he met Khamzat head on. Very back and forth fight. I think it was a split decision. A lot of people thought Gilbert won. You are not going to be able to sit up against the cage or stay behind those black lines, backing up, circling. Eventually, Khamzat is going to get to you. And if he gets to you, like I said, very similar to Khabib, his ferociousness is so far impossible to handle. Now, as far as Bo goes, I was just thinking about this. I think Bo has a lot of potential and a very high ceiling. But at least the way things are going now, I just don't know if he's ever going to fulfill the potential that we think he is. He still has a lot of time. I understand he only has 6 fights, but he is 28, turning 29. It's not like he's 23, 24. Like, he is almost 30 years old. Um, and I think his progression has been a lot slower than we thought it would be, right? The last fight against Paul Craig, okay, do you think that Khamzat would have been like, damn, Paul Craig has a great guard, he has slick submissions, does he really submit guys that are top level if they're on their game? No, he's caught Magomed Ankalaev and Jamal Hill lacking in his guard, making pretty silly mistakes. That doesn't mean Paul Craig's not very good on the ground. He is. But do you think Khamzat Chimaev would have been like, nope, too dangerous. I'm going to strike with Paul Craig? No. He would have ran over Paul Craig, took him down, established his dominance on top, and either TKO'd him or submitted him. Bo Nickal was like, his ground game's so dangerous, I'm going to stay on the feet where I'm not very good yet and throw a shit ton of overhands. That is the difference that we're talking about here. His A game, he didn't even establish against a guy like Paul Craig because he was too, not going to say scared, but saw too many strengths for Paul Craig on the ground. You can't do that. Like, that is your A game. Go in there and run over that guy. Now, is it good that he got 15 minutes in the cage? Yes. But overall, his progression, I think, has been a lot slower than we thought it would be. Fighting twice a year, I think he should be fighting 3 times a year. That makes a big difference over the course of time. Like, he should probably be 8 or 9-0 right now, not 6-0. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but every fight at this level is like a big gap. You can make huge jumps in between fights, huge leaps of new talent acquisition, like new skills you've acquired in training can come very quickly when you're this early in your career. Khamzat at this point is a much more finished product, and I think Khamzat in the end would beat Bo even on Bo's best day. And I'm talking, I think this year is where we're going to see a lot closer to what Bo's ceiling is. I think he'll fight again 2 or 3 times, and we're going to see where he is at because he just fought Paul Craig, who I think is like a top 15 guy. Now you're going to be looking at that 10, 11, 12 range probably. And then you're getting into like 6, 7, 8. And then what's in front of that? The top 5. So we're going to see a lot better this year where Bo stands in comparison to everybody else. And I just don't think his progression is going to be as great as we think it's going to be. He could definitely prove me wrong, but as of right now, I'm a Bo Nickal believer in that. I think he's going to be a top 10, top 15 guy for sure. But as far as being a world champion and being like a perennial contender, I don't know. But in 2026, I think these two will fight at some point, and I think Khamzat Chimaev will beat Bo Nickal. Give me your thoughts and feelings down below, guys. That is all I got for you in this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for me so I can keep pumping out content, and I will see you guys in the next one.